For the 7th time in school history, North Carolina Wilmington is going dancing after ending the dreams of Delaware in the Colonial Athletic Conference Championship game. Heading into the season, the Seahawks were picked to finish 3rd in the CAA after entering 2nd in the conference tournament. They would survive upset bid after upset bid to snap their 7-year streak of missing the NCAA tournament. This is the story of UNC-Wilmington basketball. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college sports content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who you will be rooting for in this year's tournament in the comment section below. Throughout the early 2000s and mid-2010s, UNC-Wilmington was the cream of the crop for the Colonial Athletic Conference when it came to basketball. They joined the CAA in 1984 after playing as an independent from 1976 to 1984. Under Mel Gibson, Robert McPherson, and Kevin Eastman, the program was mainly average but would take the next step under head coach Jerry Wainwright. Wainwright would lead them to their first 2 regular season conference titles in 1997 and 1998, but in both years they would lose in the conference tournament, missing out on the NCAA tournament. As a result, they would play in the NIT in 1998. Finally, in 2000, they would go on a magical run in the CAA conference tournament and would win the tournament to earn their first bid to play in March Madness, where they would lose to 2-seed Cincinnati. In 2001, they would play in the NIT, but in 2002, they returned to the NCAA tournament after winning both the regular season title and conference title. As a 13th seed, they would upset USC in the first round 93-89 in overtime, but would fall to 5-seed Indiana in the second round. Following the season, Wainwright would leave to take the Richmond head coaching job, and an assistant on the staff named Brad Brunell would be promoted. Under Brunell, the Seahawks would win the CAA conference regular season and tournament title twice and made it back to March Madness twice before he left to take the Wright State job. After so much success throughout the early 2000s, the program would nosedive under Benny Moss, Brooke Lee, and Buzz Peterson. After 8 losing seasons, Kevin Keatts would be hired via Louisville to save the program. Keatts led the Seahawks to a lot of success, winning a share of the regular season title in the 2014-2015 season, where they would have their first winning record since 2006 and earned a bid to play in the CIT. He continued to find a lot of success, leading UNC-Wilmington to back-to-back regular season and tournament titles, returning the Seahawks to March Madness for the first time in a decade. He would leave to take the NC State job after going 72-28. To replace Keatts, UNC-Wilmington would hire longtime Roy Williams and North Carolina assistant C.B. McGrath. This seemed like another slam dunk hire, but instead would end in disaster, as McGrath would be fired midway through the 2019-2020 season after a 5-14 start and an 0-6 start to conference play. He finished with a 26-58 record. Rob Burke would coach the remainder of the season, going 5-8. The man chosen to replace McGrath would be Takayo Siddle, as Siddle grew up in North Carolina and played college basketball at Gardner-Webb. He started his coaching career as an assistant at Hargrave Military Academy under Keatts, before joining Gardner-Webb as an assistant in 2010. He would be hired by Keatts in 2014 as an assistant at UNC-Wilmington. He would follow him to NC State in 2017, before being hired as head coach in 2020. He quickly changed the culture of the team, and that showed in his second season when he led the Seahawks to a regular season conference title and the CBI championship. To win the championship, they beat VMI, Drake, Northern Colorado, and Middle Tennessee State. They would lose in the finals of the CAA conference tournament to Charleston in 2023 and lost to Towson in the quarterfinals last year. Under Siddle, there were flashes of potential to achieve what Wainwright, Brunell, and Keatts all achieved, but they just had not converted that into the reality. The biggest showing of that was when they beat number 12 Kentucky last year. Heading into the 2024-2025 season, UNC-Wilmington was picked to finish 3rd in the Colonial Athletic Conference preseason polls behind Towson and Charleston. Towson received 10 first-place votes, Charleston received 3 first-place votes, and the Seahawks earned a singular first-place vote. Joshua Corbin and Bo Montgomery were selected as honorable mentions for the All-CAA preseason team, both of which being graduate transfers, with Corbin arriving via Robert Morris and Winthrop, and Montgomery arriving via Holy Cross. They added 7 new players and returned 2 starters from last year's team. They opened up the regular season, putting up a whopping 143 points against Mount Olive, winning 143-91, and started the season 3-0 with wins over Georgia Southern and USC Upstate as well. They would then travel to Lawrence, Kansas, falling to the then top-ranked Jayhawks 84-66, followed by an opening loss to Colgate 72-59 to open up the Live Oak Bank Classic. They would close out the Classic with wins over Sam Houston and App State, and extended their winning streak to 4 straight, beating ECU and Marshall, before falling to Howard on the road 88-83. That sparked a 3-game win streak to close out non-conference play with wins over Florida Gulf Coast, UNC Asheville, and Spartanburg Methodist. They would fall to Towson in the CAA opener before beating Campbell and Monmouth before falling to Hofstra. They then proceeded to go on a 9-game win streak, beating Northeastern, William and Mary, Charleston, Hampton, North Carolina A&T, Stony Brook, Delaware, Drexel, and Charleston a second time, or losing back-to-back to Elon and Hampton. They would close out the regular season on a 3-game win streak, beating William and Mary, Campbell, and Delaware to finish the regular season 24-7 and 14-4 in conference play. The Seahawks would earn the 2 seed for the tournament, with Towson finishing 16-2 in conference play. The Seahawks entered the tournament leading the conference in scoring with 79.9 points per game, shooting percentage, rebound margin, and free throws attempts, and entered the tournament as the betting favorites to finally make it back to March. They beat Hampton 79-65 in the quarterfinals, survived against Charleston, finishing with 12 steals in a 68-67 win, and ended Delaware's Cinderella run in the championship game behind Donovan Newby's 17 points, as well as Noah Ross's 14 points and Bo Montgomery's 13 points to win 76-72. Heading into Selection Sunday, UNC-Wilmington is projected to be a 13 seed according to ESPN's bracketology and is set to face Purdue as of now. This is a team that can score at will, will be returning to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 8 years. They will be a team that are interesting to watch and could be fun in this year's tournament. What do you think? How far does UNC-Wilmington go in March? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.